Chish Hatyadi, Sakat Yuhan, Anyat Kusani, Klauyesh Yuchat Duasak, Tuknachadi Ayachat, Dagana Hitach Chatsati. Ach Ish Has Wushkitan, Ach Kwan Ahe, Ach Ish Has Chet Hitach Sit Ahe. Thank you all for coming here. I'm honored to be a part of this. My name is Ricky Tagaban, and my Tlingit name is Klau Yesh. I am Chuknachadi Raven Koho from the house in front of the town, Daganahit. My father's people are the Wushkitan, and I always wish to honor my father's people. My father's people are also from Ak Bay, and it's wonderful that you're all here, and we have a great show for you, so please enjoy it. Gunas Chish.
Gunas Chish. Gunas Chish Hatiadi. Sekul Yuchat Duasak. Yech Nachatsiti. Kluk Nachsha Ayachat. Achish has Nawejan. Achish has Shangukedi. Achishku has Hukachadi. Ka Nawejan Ka Shangukedi. Gunas Chish. My Tlingit name is Segul. My English name is Jessica Chester, and I'm very happy to be here today. Gunas Chish.
Gunilchish, Anyat Kusani, Shaudinekia, Gunilchish Ayati Kini Aigi, Akin Gunilchish, Yat at Hwalkini Aigi, Achilkuhas Shangukedi, Tuach Hadakanuku, Kukhit Kagwantan, Akin Gunilchish Hatiadia, Tukanei. Na addi aya yakkohi daganahit tanaya khat na kishan yukhat duasak to kuhach achyaw duasai ya shukahadi achishkuhas ya shukahadi achia achyaw duasai kuhach Yan kak achlish goya ach klashish kusiti dacha dusai awe shuk asai kuas Satan ach kesh awe Satan you do sak yesh ayachat ya had u ya yesh Shuk Shicht zu Yacht City. I am from the Daganahit Tan, and I am a raven, and my grandfather was named Kuhach, and he was a Shukahadi man. And the Shukahadi are my true grandparents, and this is the reason they gave me another name. They gave me my great-grandfather's name, and they also named my nephew, Hunter, his other name, Satan. And thank you to everyone who are here, all of you noble people sitting here today, all of you aristocrats who have come here to watch the baby Regalia review. Thank you all. I am very honored to be here looking out at your faces today. My grandparents are the Shangukedi, and our outer shell are the Kagwantan from the box house. I'd also at this time like to acknowledge through my father's lineage, they are sitting right down here. He is Norwegian. His father was a full-blooded Norwegian, but I always thought of him as a raven. He was just like a raven. And my grandmother here, my father's mother, sitting here in the front. Thank you all so much for being here. And my sonny, Uncle Steve, and Aunt Treasure, Ganeshishia Hati Adi. Now with all that out of the way, we'll get going. Ganeshish. First up, we have Nashea and Nevaeh Little. They are twins, and they're Haida, Raven, Double Fin, Killer Whale, Yaklanas, The girls are the great-great-granddaughters of Vesta Johnston. The little twins are wearing a tunic with the double fin killer whale design created by Nathan Jackson. The tunic was made by Kay Parker and Vicky Soboleff. The little twins are also wearing a raven's tail leggings with a Haida tattoo design woven by Kay Parker. Their moccasins are beaded with flowers and have beaver trim. They were made by Mary Miller. Their drums have a round raven design created by Scott Douglas, and they were painted by Vicky Soboleff. The little twins are members of the Stakatnach Yatki, Chada Skitlong, and the Yautei dance groups. They love to dance.
Next, we have Paul Linley IV. He's Yesh Takone D. His cedar hat is woven by his paternal grandmother, Sue Ann Linley. His apron and leggings are handmade by his mother, Jessica Demrett Linley. His Raven Clan crest design is identical to his mother's, and permission to use the design was given to Paul's maternal grandmother, Tammy Demrett, by his maternal great-aunt, Carol Demrett Williams, in 1993. Gunishish.
Next up, we have Peter DeBalas. Peter is Uknachadi. Okay. Peter's beaded headband was made by Mother Gail Dabaluz. His applique tunic with a coho salmon on the front and Hawaiian T leaf design on the back, surrounded by white heart trade beads and antique mother-of-pearl button and beaded collar utilizing a seaweed design using size 14 seed beads were also made by Mother Gail. He is carrying a raven's tail woven bag, artist unknown. His applique coho salmon leggings were made by Auntie Janice Jackson. His handmade moccasins were also made by an unknown artist.
Next, we have Kaylee Ann Carlson Byers. Percy Coons made Kaylee Ann's yellow and purple with Eagle Clan crest. Goodness, sheesh. Oh, she looks beautiful. Shakshake.
Next up, we have Cassandra Marie Harris. No? Okay, I'm sorry. Next we have up is McKeel Martin. McKeel Martin is named after his great-grandfather, Tikata, and he is, in English, was known as Richard Dalton Sr. He is Akdaintan Wasine Di Yadi. Yikuti Hitan Dachaya Chukanadi Kadene Kad Akdaintan Dachkhan City. He's the grandchild of the Chukanadi, the Dene, and the Akdaintan. Hunakawu Aya. He's of the people from Huna. His mother is Michelle D. Martin, Kayakjiwua, and his father is Michael Martin, Kagasku of Cake Kwanda. The cedar hat was made by his mother. She made this in Dolores Churchill's weaving class. The blanket was also made by his mother, and it has the cake design on it, created by his uncle Richard Dalton III. who was also known as Tikata, and this is the kitty wake that belongs to the Takdaintan clan. The lining represents his Navajo or Dene heritage from his mother's side. We are Tabaha, the Edgewater people. His apron was also made by his mother, and the sea otter skin was given to him by his maternal grandfather, Richard Dalton Sr. His moccasins were given to him by his maternal grandmother, Linda Francisco. These are traditional Navajo moccasins. Nechitichi, Atchashtitichi, I'm sorry. Gnashish.
Next up, we have Madison suits. Madison is Kinedi. Her red and black button blanket was made by Madison's grandmother, Lenny Merino Hins, with raven design. She wears a raven beaded pin given by Madison's grandmother, Rachel Merino. Her white moccasins were made by Madison's great-auntie, Mabel Pike, given to Madison by her great-uncle, Paul Merino. Gunashish.
Hadeyasnaat Chukanedi. Here comes some Chukanedi. Richard Diedrichson Jr., Date Kuhn, and Sophie May, and Ava Marie Diedrichson, twins. R.J. Diedrichson is wearing a robe made by Auntie Wallene Whitson, and dance shirt and beadwork made by his mother and Auntie Manda. Leggings made by Master Weaver Terry Rothker, and headdress made by Uncle James Bennett. RJ is accompanying his twin sisters Sophie and Ava Diedrichson. Sophie and Ava. Sophie May and Ava Marie Diedrichson are wearing matching dance shirts and beadwork made by grandmothers Tammy Young and Mary Bennett, Auntie Stormy Powell and their mother. Round hats made by their mother and Auntie Angela Kata. Gnashish. Next up, we have Elizabeth D. Hope, who carries an Inupiaq name, Talihak Dakdaintan. Elizabeth is wearing Copper Child, a four-piece Raven's Tail ensemble by Elizabeth's mother, Lily. It includes an apron, headdress, tunic, and robe of hand-spun merino wool, sea otter fur, and copper cones. The tunic was the traditional lightning pattern on the front and box within a box pattern on the back. The headdress, apron, and robe have Lily's contemporary design called shaman eyes. Woo! And the robe has 8 patterns of standing on top of the mountain, offering the shamans many options for perspective. And years ago in DC, I was honored by Lily's mother and was allowed to wear the Copper Man outfit, so I kind of have a feeling of what it feels like.
Lily Ann Marie Grant. Nachgle Nach. Okay. Lily is Gashyach Kagwantan Eagle Wolf. She's wearing a dance robe and tunic made by her grandmother, Mary Grant McConkey. Her headband is a gift from her Aunt Erica McConkey Kayake. The drum flute was made by Helen Mercado of Sitka. Gunaschish.
Wonderful. Next up, we have Naomi Renee Irene Miller. Naomi's robe has a fully beaded wolf designed by her father, Chuck Miller, with wolf tracks around the panel. The buttons on her robe belong to her great-great-grandma, Ann Keener Kanach Wudaat. She is wearing a ravenstail headband with wolf tracks on it. She has a little purse that has beaded flowers, done by her great-great-grandma Ann. Most of her regalia was made by her mother, Amanda Miller. Shikudzi.
Next, we have Angelina Louise Jackson, Jocelyn Lehan Jackson, Johnny Lester Jackson, and I just want to apologize for when we mispronounce names. Angelina's blanket with eagle wolf design and abalone buttons was made by her mother, Mahida Arankala. Her headband is made with seal fur and hand-carved silver eagle design by Norman L. Jackson. Her silver bracelets and earrings were also done by Norman L. Jackson. Jocelyn is wearing a suede eagle wolf design with abalone buttons made by Auntie Gail Cheney and a cedar hat by Norman L. Jackson. Her silver bracelets and earrings are also Norman L. Jackson's. Johnny's tunic is made with love by his Auntie Elizabeth Medicine Crow. Johnny's headdress is made of rabbit fur with a red cedar eagle inlaid with abalone shells made by his dad, Bert Jackson. Johnny's rattle is yellow cedar hand-carved wolf with copper and abalone inlay made by Norman L. Jackson. Gunachish.
Next up, we have Tyrell Cromer, Stuwuka, and Guch Dakashu. The cedar bark hat was made with red and yellow bark by his uncle George Kartiti of Huna, accented with ermine and abalone buttons. This hat was made September 30th of '09. The lovebird robe was made with maroon and black wool felt by his uncle George Kartiti. The design is of eagle and raven lovebird encircled with pearl beads. The black border is dotted with mother of pearl shells and mother of pearl buttons lining the border. This robe was made for Tyrell September 30th, 2009. His boots were made with moose hide, later tanned by Tyrell's great-grandmother Annie Hotch of Cluckwan. These boots have a beaded eagle pattern made by Ruth James of Huna. Beaver hide makes up the side portion of the boots and is accented with deer hoofs to make the wave sound. The moccasin booties were constructed by his uncle George Kartiti in May of 2008. There is a silver eagle bracelet that he's wearing by Doug Chilton of Juneau, purchased by his mother Carrie Lindoff, a gift for him when he received his Tlingit name in October of '09. The eagle rattle is made of yellow cedar by Victor Austin, purchased by his uncle George Kartiti in October of 2008. The Chilkat bag is the Chilkat circle woven with wool yarns made by his uncle George Kartiti in May of 2000. Aklengen Chish, Stuka.
Next up, we have Hayden and Shelby Devlin, Headband on Shelby has an eagle and was made by Aunt Nat Austin. Moccasins by Larry Jackson Sr. Blanket with shark by Mother Calvina Devlin, Aunt Ellie Jackson, and Graham Jerry Wilson. Hayden is wearing moccasins by Larry Jackson, tunic with shark by Mother and Auntie Ellie Jackson, and is faced with a wolf in front. Gunaschish.
Next up, we have Kayani and Kayani, Cake Ahoin, and Rawl Weathers. Kayani and Rawl's robes were made by their grandmother, Judy Brown. The eagle, surrounded by a circle of bear paws, was also created by Judy. Kayani's round hat and Rawl's sea otter headband and tunic were made by their mother, Angela Kita, with help of the Sitka Native Education Program's Regalia workshops. Kayani is also wearing a brown bear bib by grandmother Judy Brown and an octopus bag made by grandmother Barbara Ullman.
We're bickering over who gets to do this one. So we compromised. This is my nephew Hunter and my niece Helen. Hunter Jacobson has the name Hich Ishan, and his tunic and beadwork and moccasins were made by his mom, Anshkanuk Dora. The raven on the tunic is the dry bay raven, and the small beaded, the hat carries his Hart carries his second name, Ski. That was our grandfather's nickname, Grandpa Ski. This was his maternal great-grandpa's nickname, and it is now a new Tluknachadi name. He carries a drum made by my namesake, Frank Dick, which is pictured in Dick and Nora Downhauer's book, Hakus Tiye. Anyway, this drum was passed down to Hunter through Arlene Henry, our chief, and the raven headband that he is wearing was made by our granddaughter and grandmother, Florence Mark Shakely. And he also will be getting the name Yesh Ida. That's another name that he'll get later on in life. And his sister there, Helen, is next up.
Yadu Achsi. Helen is my daughter. She's the child of the Wushkitan Yadi. She is the grandchild of the Kagwantan, Deishitan, Hluka Khadi, and Kagwantan. She's wearing a tunic made by her Auntie Dora, and various beadwork by Dora and my brother Hans and I. She is wearing moccasins that were her birthday gift from Auntie Dora. She just turned 5 yesterday. And she's wearing a headband on loan from the TCLL program where I work. Gunaschish.
Right, now we have Andrew Lawrence, Clun Ish. Andrew is being accompanied by his raven Akdaintan uncle, Travis Marvin, Ani, and his eagle Kagwantan uncle, Richard Marvin III. The robe is a diploma wall plaque earned by his mother, Teresa Moses, after graduating from the Sitka Native Education Program. His leather artwork was designed by grandparents Terrence and Martha Moses. Ooh.
Next, we have Rhiannon Edenshaw, Rhiannon Cedar Hat by Gloria Natcon of Hatterberg, Alaska, blanket by both Roman Edenshaw, Nana, and Great Aunt Barb Nix. Dressed by Great Aunt Barb Nix. Her moccasins are by Great Aunt Barb Nix. Gunalchish.
Next up, we have DeAndre Pittman, Kashke. All of DeAndre's regalia is made by his mother, Mabel Pittman, and the patterns were made by the following people. His Shungukati emblem on his blanket, his Shungukati on the apron, the chalk on the moccasins, Shungukati or eagle paddle are by John Morris Sr. The screaming eagle pendants on the staff are by Barry Smith. And the Shungukati headband he's wearing was made by Hinde, Donald Gregory. Next we have up our Rami Shelton, Ka'it, and Jackson Shelton Kindishan. Ka'it is wearing an eagle headband made by his grandfather, Raymond Peck. The button blanket made by mother, Doreen Peck. The design is similar to mom's Hudson Bay blanket. Deerskin apron with deer toes and leggings made by grandfather, Raymond Peck. The drum is an eagle raven designed by grandfather, Raymond Peck. The octopus bag made by grandmother Carmen Plunkett. Kindishan is wearing an abalone headband made by grandfather Raymond Peck. The tunic is also done by Ray Peck. It's an eagle design. The design was made by Ray Peck. The tunic was made by Doreen Peck. Leggings are of deer skin and deer toes made by Raymond Peck. The staff is an eagle design with human hair by Raymond Peck. Gnalchish.
Hudson Raymond Kashlachek Shungukati. Hudson's red and black button blanket was made by Auntie Doreen Peck. His staff with eagle and thunderbird was designed by Grandpa Ray Peck. His deerskin leggings and apron with deer hooves and thunderbird designs also by Grandpa Ray. Gunalchish.
Right. Tristan Harley Cox, Dekit Latin, Chade Khatnaiu, Kyle Johnson. All right. Chade Khatnaiu, I apologize for the mistake. Kyle Johnson Jr., Shqain. Kyle is wearing a swimming dog salmon ultra suede vest with mother of pearl buttons sewn by Shken Dutan George of the Dukshlawadi, black and red raven's tail diamond designs leggings and zigzag design headband also woven by Shken Dutan George. He carries an elk-hide drum made by Chinara Kukesh and painted by Jamie Daniels, both of Angoon.
Next up, we have Tyler Michael Frisbee, Kukesh, given to him by his grandpa Walter Soboleff. Tyler's tunic was made by his maternal grandmother, Lena Woods. The raven design was drawn by a Haida lady. The Haida raven is in honor of his father, Charlie Frisbee. He is also wearing a cedar hat made by Judy Helgeson. The ermine on the hat was given to him by his great aunt from the Yukon. Tyler is also wearing boots made by his maternal grandmother, which are made of moose hide and calf hide, and with beaver fur. Gonna cheese. Next up, we have Ainsley Malott. Her name is Wajukka. She's 2. She's Tlingit of the Quashkikwan, the Kinechkwan. Her father, Anthony Malott, is Tsagwedi. They stem from Yakutat. Ainsley is raven from the Humpy Creek Kwan near Yakutat. Her regalia was made by her grandmother, Tony Malott, with help from her grandma, Kit Scribner, Auntie Kathy, Auntie Liz, and her mom. Ainsley's tunic is a traditional Yakutat style, decorated with both old and new floral and seaweed design beadwork. Ainsley's blanket and tunic were originally made for her older sister, Addie, 3 years ago, and were worn in celebration of 08. Gnachish. Alex Malott, Danakish, also Quashkikwan or Kinechkwan, child of the Tsagwedi. Alex is wearing a traditional Yakutat-style tunic representing raven moiety from the Humpy Creek Kwan near Yakutat. His regalia was made by his grandma, Tony Malott, with help from his grandma, Kit Scribner, Auntie Kathy, Auntie Liz, and Mom. The dance paddles he is carrying were given to him on his 4th birthday last week and were carved and painted by his cousin, Shane Brown of Yakutat. Gnachish.
All right, Raymond James Fairbanks. His name is Shakwashik. He's Kacheti from Hinya Kwan, which originates from Ich Kwan. Raymond is Tlingit, Haida, Tsimshian, and White Earth Ojibwe, son of Ronald and Teresa Cato Fairbanks. He's wearing a raven tunic made by his mother, designed by his dad. Ojibwe-style moccasins made by his mother, raven alder hat made by John Rowan. He dances with raven staff made by his father. Gunachish Hawa Doigshishin.
Okay. Next, we have Mariella Wenzel, is the youngest member of the Taku Kwan dancers. She was born October 24th, 2007, and this is her 2nd celebration. Mariella's regalia was lovingly made by her mother, grandmothers, and the many friends who adore her. She is from the Yunyedi clan, originating from the Taku River Tlinkits in Atlin, BC, Canada. You can see her dancing today at 4:30 in Marine Park, and she's accompanied by her mother, Cherish Clark. Gunachish. Woo!
Next up, we have Caden Dean Jim and Jackson Riker Jim being accompanied by Laura Poe, their mother. Caden is Tlingit, Yeich from Taktaintan clan of the Snail House, Hittach, and he is Wushkitan Yadi. He is wearing a raven button blanket made by his grandma, Teresa Reyes Germain. Jackson is also Yeich Taktaintan from Takhit of Huna and Wushkitan Yadi. His tunic was made by his grandma, Teresa Reyes Germain, and his auntie, Shyla Germain. The front is a raven, and the back is a both designed by Arthur Johnson. And the ape is their a very powerful and strong crest of the Taktaintan. Gunashchishawa.
Next we have Stella Hunter. She is Kiksadi Yeich. Her mother is Lana Hunter, father John Hunter, who's Ojibwe. Beadwork by Lisa Hunter, tunic made by Sarah Schultz, frog design by Alan Hayton, bib by Ruby Hughes, Raven's Tail lightning design headband by Kay Parker, and moccasins by Cindy Olin. Gunashchish.
Well, this will conclude our baby toddler regalia review, but before we leave the stage, we have a headband that we are told belongs to Madison Suits or Souk, so if you're here, you can come up and claim that. And also before we leave the stage, I would like to take just a moment to say a couple of words about our language. It was 14 years ago when I began learning to speak Tlingit. I was not raised speaking Tlingit. I was raised speaking English, like most of us in this room. With that said, I would like to ask if Nora Dowenhauer or Florence Shakely are in the house. I just wanted to bring her out because too often I leave things out and I forget to mention where I've learned certain things or how I know certain things that I know. But I'm extremely thankful to the Hlukahadi clan and especially to Kakashat and her sister, Kehune Nora, and to all of the Hlukahadi, Paul and Leo, and especially to Johnny. Without Kakashat here, without her listening to my questions, my persistent asking, how do you say this? What's this sound? How do you say this? I wouldn't be standing right here in front of all of you today, nor would my sister Jessica and my brother Ricky. It's from Kakashat to Edachaya Yantu Sekwen Hayuk Atangi Hakustiye Yukanaj Aya Haishatu Akin Awech Siti Koa. That's not enough just to have it in our college. Every one of you who speak Tlingit, Gaidanak. Gnilchish. Aklen Gnilchish. Adeyuch Aisha Atgiya Hayuch Atangi. Aklen Gnilchish Yuhan. Aklen Gnilchish. Now speak it every day. Speak it in the stores. Listen to CDs or tapes or on your iPod when you're driving or when you're walking. The time is ticking away. And if our languages, not just Tlingit, if our languages are going to survive, these little toddlers, these children need to learn it in the home, just like you did. If we do not have it in our homes, it will be extremely difficult. And I know that up here today, I made mistakes when I was speaking. Please forgive me for making mistakes. But I was not raised in a Tlingit household. If we want our language to survive, we need to hear it everywhere we go. We need to hear you speaking it to your children and your grandchildren right here in this building today, and at the A&B Hall, and at the Armory, wherever you go. And Kakashat started us off by just having us say Gunashish when we got our change at the store, or when someone gave us a brochure or a handout when we walked into the building. Something as simple as saying Gunashish, that will grow. It's like a seed. And when we speak it everywhere we go, that seed will grow. Aklengunashish anyat kusani, shiautaneki hacheti saahi, ye aklengunashish.